He worked 16-hour days to give them a future. But when he died, they lost everything in 3 months. What happens when the only thing your family inherits is your debt? Before everything went wrong, there was laughter in this house. The kind that echoes off the kitchen walls and makes the kids laugh harder just hearing it. Jason was 42, a diesel mechanic by trade, and a dad by purpose. He had calloused hands, a crooked grin, and a tendency to hum 80s rock songs under his breath. Every Saturday, he made pancakes in the shape of dinosaurs because his daughter said they tasted braver that way. He didn't have much time, but he gave them all of it. Late nights were spent helping with homework, even if he fell asleep with a pencil in hand. His wife, Maria, worked part-time at the local school and held the family together like glue no one ever saw. Their life wasn't perfect, but it was safe. They had bills, sure. Credit cards, a car loan, and a mortgage that felt like a second mouth to feed. But they also had movie nights. Popcorn in mismatched bowls and Jason pretending to hate the animated musicals he secretly loved. They had a rhythm. Wake up. Work hard. Come home. Love each other fiercely. Jason always said, "We may not have it all, but we have enough." And for a while, that felt true. He knew about life insurance. His boss handed out brochures every December like they were coupons. But Jason would say, "I'll look into it next year." And somehow, next year never showed up. He wasn't reckless. He was just busy. Working 60 hours a week to stay ahead of the bills leaves little time for what if. And deep down, he believed he had time. More birthdays. More pancake Saturdays. More years. Because that's what most of us think, that we'll get to it before the worst happens. That we'll see it coming. But tragedy doesn't send a warning. It doesn't knock politely. It just arrives. Violent. Final. And always, too soon. But before that day, they were just like you. Just like any of us. Jason tucked his kids in every night, whispering jokes he made up on the spot. He never missed a school recital, not even the cringy ones. And when Maria asked, "Do we need to get that policy your co-worker mentioned?" he smiled, kissed her forehead, and said, "Next paycheck." He meant it. He just never got the chance to make it true. And that's the part no one sees. Not in the birthday videos. Not in the framed family photos. It's the silence after the laughter ends. The empty chair at dinner. The unpaid bills no one expected to inherit. It was a Tuesday morning, just like any other. Jason kissed his kids on the forehead, grabbed his lunchbox, and told Maria, "Don't wait up." The engine of his truck rumbled to life, and just like that, he was gone. That would be the last time they saw him alive. The call came in at 10:14 a.m. An accident on the highway. Sudden, violent, fatal. Maria picked up with a joking, "Don't tell me you forgot your lunch again." But what followed wasn't his voice, it was protocol. The officer's voice was flat, rehearsed, professional, as if he'd said these words too many times before. "We're sorry to inform you." Maria collapsed to the kitchen floor. The sound that came out of her wasn't human, it was pain in its purest form. The kids didn't understand at first. "Where's Daddy?" they asked. Maria couldn't answer. She just stared out the window where his truck should have returned. The funeral was held 5 days later. It cost $9,200. She put it on a credit card because it was the only option. The interest would start in 30 days. Friends dropped off casseroles. Neighbors mowed the lawn. But no one could pay the mortgage. Then came the real avalanche. Jason's job had no death benefit. His bank account had $814. She searched for a policy. Anything. Something he might have signed years ago. But there was nothing. Just old tax returns, expired warranties, and dust. The first mortgage call came exactly 14 days after the funeral. Cold, polite, and robotic. They offered condolences. Then reminded her she was 15 days late. Jason was gone. But the bills stayed behind, like ghosts that wouldn't stop knocking. Maria sold Jason's tools to keep the lights on. Then she pawned her wedding ring to make the car payment. She applied for survivor benefits, but the system moved like molasses. Weeks turned to months. Her youngest started having nightmares, dreams where daddy drove away and never came back. She didn't know how to explain it wasn't just a dream. The GoFundMe helped, for a minute. $600 raised. $9,000 owed. Her pride kept her from begging. But eventually, pride gave way to desperation. The repo man showed up 90 days later. Took the truck, Jason's truck. And still, no help came. Because without life insurance, there's no safety net. There's only free fall. This is what happens when the unthinkable becomes real. This is what it looks like when you die without life insurance. After the funeral flowers wilted and the casserole stopped coming, reality showed up like a brick through the window. No more condolences. Just consequences. Maria went back to work at the school. 2 weeks after burying her husband, she was teaching math to 10-year-olds with a fake smile on her face. She took extra shifts, anything they would give her. But even with overtime, it wasn't enough to cover half the mortgage. The house became a ticking bomb. Every unpaid day, the bank edged closer to taking it. She tried calling the lender, explained everything. The man on the line said, "I'm sorry for your loss, but we still need payment." Jason's toolbox, passed down from his father, was the first thing she sold. It brought in $400. The mortgage was $1,600. Then it was the couch. Then her car. Eventually, there was nothing left to sell that didn't scream, "This family is falling apart." Her son stopped asking about football practice. Her daughter asked if the tooth fairy had to skip their house now. There was no magical payout. No policy number to read over the phone. No, he loved you enough to prepare. Only debt. Only panic. Only the daily math of what to keep and what to cancel. The lights were the first to go, one flick of the switch away from darkness. Then the internet. Then the fridge humming like it knew its time was short. She called family, but they were tapped out. Everyone's struggling. Everyone has their own fire to put out. The kids started hearing everything. Whispered arguments. Midnight crying. Words like eviction, shelter, and foster care. That's when Maria stopped sleeping. She'd sit by the door every night just listening, waiting, praying nothing else would be taken. The repo man had already taken the truck. The next knock could be the landlord. Or worse, CPS. The descent didn't feel like falling. It felt like sinking. Quiet. Slow. Inevitable. Even with GoFundMe, food stamps, school meal programs, it was never enough. You can't crowdfund a future. There was a time when Maria bought birthday balloons. Now she buys ramen in bulk and prays for coupons. And still, no one asked the question out loud, why didn't Jason have life insurance? Because the answer was too painful. It wasn't that he didn't care. It's that he didn't know the cost of not being prepared. This is the slow collapse no one tells you about. Not in brochures. Not in obituaries. This is what happens when the love is deep, but the plan isn't. This isn't rare. This isn't a movie. This is someone's reality every single day. When someone dies, we grieve the person, but we rarely talk about what else they leave behind. Debt doesn't vanish with a heartbeat. In fact, death can be the single most expensive event of a person's life, for the ones they leave behind. The cost doesn't end at the grave. There's the funeral itself, a $9,000 goodbye. Embalming, casket, plot, service, transport, headstone, each one its own invoice. But it doesn't stop there. The moment someone dies, the system kicks in, and it's not on your side. If you don't have life insurance, assets can be frozen for months in probate court. That means even if you had savings, your family can't touch a dollar of it. While bills, those still come. Mortgage, utilities, loans, school tuition. Every creditor you owed suddenly wants their slice, now. And if your name's on a shared debt, like most marriages, congratulations. You just inherited everything he couldn't pay. Medical bills don't disappear, either. If there was an ambulance ride, ER visit, or ICU stay, those costs can cripple a family for years. Some states allow creditors to come after a spouse's property, even years later. It's called estate recovery. And just when you think the worst is over, the IRS shows up. Death doesn't cancel taxes. Without insurance, your family becomes responsible for back taxes, estate taxes, and penalties. Sometimes even the home is liquidated to cover the costs. And here's the cruel irony. If you do have assets like a home or car, the government may force your family to sell them before they can access anything else. All of this avoidable with a $30 monthly policy. That's the hidden truth. Life insurance isn't just for peace of mind. It's protection from a financial ambush. Jason didn't know. He thought death meant silence, not courtrooms and calculators. But every month without a policy was a bet, and eventually he lost. People say life insurance is too expensive. But it's not more expensive than burying your future. Some say, I'm young, I'm healthy, I'll get to it later. But time doesn't offer refunds. Others say, my family will figure it out. But they won't figure out how to turn grief into money. Death is guaranteed. Stability afterward? That's the part you have to plan for. Life insurance isn't for you. It's for the ones left holding your broken world together. Because dying broke doesn't just break the bank. It breaks people. You won't be here when the bills come. But they will. And the people you love will open them with shaking hands, asking, why didn't they prepare? And all you had to do was decide to protect them before it was too late. Now, imagine the same story, but one decision changed everything. The same sudden loss. The same heartbreak. But this time, there was a plan. Meet Marcus. Also 42. Also a father. Also gone too soon. But Marcus had something most people don't. A $500,000 life insurance policy, bought 5 years earlier for $36 per month. When the accident happened, it still broke their hearts. But it didn't break their home. His wife, Dana, got the call the same way Maria did. Same shock. Same pain. Same silence after the line disconnected. But within 14 days, she received a wire transfer that changed everything. No applications. No begging. No GoFundMe. She paid for the funeral in full. No credit card. No debt. She kept the house. The mortgage. Cleared. Gone. The kids stayed in the same school. Same bedrooms. Same friends. Same everything, except their dad. There were still tears. Still therapy. Still sleepless nights. But never once, not once, did they have to choose between grief and survival. They grieved with dignity. They suffered with stability. Marcus left behind a hole, but he also left behind a cushion. One that caught them before the fall. Dana didn't need to work double shifts. She didn't need to sell her ring. She didn't need to tell her kids they had to move. She sat with a financial advisor instead of a loan officer. She made plans, not pleas. Marcus didn't just leave money. He left protection. And now, his kids will go to college. His wife can breathe. His family can heal. This wasn't luck. It was one choice made on a Tuesday afternoon 5 years ago. That choice didn't cost much, but it saved everything. When Dana tells the story now, she always starts with this line, I didn't lose my life just because I lost my husband. Because Marcus didn't leave her to figure it out. He left her something to build on. This is what preparation looks like. This is what love in action feels like. You can't stop death, but you can stop it from destroying everything. The only difference between Marcus and Jason was one conversation, one signature, 1 click. 2 families. 2 funerals. 1 had flowers and stability. 1 had foreclosure notices and panic. So the question isn't, will something happen? The question is, what will your family find in the drawer when you're gone? Will it be protection? Or will it be panic? Let's get real. Life insurance isn't for you. It's for the people who have to keep going without you. The ones who'll still need to eat, sleep, pay bills, and somehow function the day after your funeral. It's for your daughter when she needs braces. Your son when he wants to apply for college. It's for your spouse, staring at your empty chair across the dinner table, whispering, "How am I supposed to do this alone?" If you think you're invincible, you're not. If you think, "I'll do it later," ask yourself, what if later never comes? What will they find when they go looking for answers? A policy folder? Or a fundraiser link? You can't leave them your presence. But you can leave them a future. This isn't about fear. It's about love. Love that shows up when you're gone. Love that makes sure they don't have to break, just to survive. So ask yourself, if today was your last, what would your silence say to them? What if I told you 30 minutes today could save your family years of pain? Not hypothetical pain, real eviction notices, real GoFundMes, real empty plates. You don't need $1 million. You just need one conversation and one quote. In 30 minutes, you can protect your home, your kids' future, and their ability to grieve without drowning in debt. You're not doing this for you. You're doing this so they never have to wonder, what now? So here's the challenge. Pause this video. Set a timer for 30 minutes. Get the quote. Take the step. Give your family the 30-minute gift that could last a lifetime. And finally, do not forget to subscribe. It means a lot to us.